It's another lovely Friday, and welcome to the Real Talk Show right here on the Youth Platform Facebook page. My name is George, and today we have a lovely and wonderful topic that we'll be able to discuss with our guests today. The topic of today is the abuse of the morning after pill by adolescents and young people. We want to know the hidden dangers and the health risks associated with the abuse of the morning after. With me to help me discuss this is Monida, who is a trained profession and national trainer, a nurse, and adolescent focal point person at provincial level. And she's been on the show before, so she will be able to ensure that we have all the information that we need. And also, our guest is Chavo, as well as Rebecca and Victoria. Welcome to the show. Our sign language interpreter, Amun. Welcome to the show, guys, and welcome to the show, our viewers. How are we doing today? Okay. All right, let's get right into the show. So this special episode is brought to you with compliments of the youth-led advocacy project, the 𝗙𝗲𝗲, and the Youth Response Challenge, supported by ActionAid Zambia, with generous support from the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA. So let's get into finding out why the morning after pill is the most overused contraceptive. Rebecca, I'd like to keep the ball rolling with you. Yeah, welcome to the show. Why do you choose, as a young person, why do you choose to use the morning after pill frequently instead of other methods of contraceptive or contraception?
Okay, I choose to use the morning after pill because it's one of the fastest and easiest to access, because you find out to say after having unprotected sex or unplanned sex, I have to have it immediately. So I'll just go by the shop and get it because it's the fastest and the easiest to get.
Okay. Are you aware of the potential side effects or health risks associated with the using of the morning after pill multiple times?
I've heard of some, of which I've heard of its irregular period and hormonal imbalance. But there's nothing we can do regardless of these side effects, because the morning after is the fastest, is the fastest, as I have read through social media and other people.
Okay. So what thoughts, Rebecca, what are your thoughts and feelings each time you have to take the morning after pill? I'm assuming it's frequently, but what are your thoughts and feelings each time? Did you get my question?
No, sorry.
So I'm trying to find out your thoughts and feelings each time you have to take the morning after. What goes through your mind? What feelings come up? Okay, maybe we'll get.
When you take the morning after, some thoughts that come within me are the thoughts of fear and regret. And then you find out to say there are times whereby I take the morning after pill, then I start feeling dizzy, and the urge of having sex just drives away. It goes. So you of dizziness, I just go and get a bottle of pills where I can take in order to reduce the dizziness and the like, and after that, appointment good.
Okay, thank you for that one. I'd like to get to you, 𝗙𝗲. Welcome to the show once more.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay, as a young person, why do you prefer to use? Why do you prefer not to use condoms? I suspect. I know we brought you on the show because you're a young person, sexually active, and we spoke before the show. You told me a story on how you facilitate the purchase or the buying of the morning after to certain ladies that or your partners. So as a young person, my question to you is, why do you prefer not to use a condom or encourage your partner to use family pills, but then instead you just go to pharmacy and buy morning after? Why can't you use
Yeah,
family planning
so
pills or condoms?
yeah, so what what normally happens is that you find that the time to wear a condom is normally less compared to just going direct. Then at the end of the day, you just resolve, okay, let me just get the morning after since it has already happened. Because that's what normally happens. Then in a state where looking at our community, a lot of people and normal abuse drugs. So most of them would resolve in the morning. That's when now they are going to realize, oh, we had sex. So actually, I think the easiest way is for you to take a morning after pill.
Are you aware of the potential risks of not using unprotected sex besides pregnancy? I'm talking about STIs and STIs basically.
I never thought of that because most of the time, what normally happens, we just normally resolve, oh, she doesn't have to be pregnant. That's what we normally resolve.
Mhm. So as a young person, you're saying you are more scared of the young lady you lay with. You're more scared that she may be pregnant more than you contracting an STI.
Yes, that's the word on the ground.
How often do you use the morning after with your partner?
According to the word which is on the street, most of them you normally use them maybe twice in a month, depending. Most of them it just depends as long as they have unprotected sex that they normally reserve to morning after pill. Then, but for me and my partner, it's normally just once in a month. Yes.
Okay. No, thank you so much. Viewers, if you just joined us, welcome to the Real Talk Show. It's another lovely Friday. Today's topic is the abuse of the morning after pill by adolescents and young persons. And we're talking about the hidden dangers and the health risks associated. Please remember that this special episode is brought to you with the compliments of the Youth-led Advocacy Project and the Youth Response Challenge supported by ActionAid with general support from SIDA. So we've heard from Rebecca and 𝗙𝗲. Now I'd like to get to the professional side of things, the hidden dangers and risks. Monida, once again, welcome to the show. Monida, are you there?
Yes. Thank you so much, George. Yes, what's the question again?
It's always lovely to see you here. So what are some of the less commonly known health risks associated with the frequent use of the morning after pill?
Okay, thank you so much. Like we are discussing, it's called an emergency pill, like they call it morning after. So there are some health side effects that we usually, or the adolescents miss. Most of them, they'll have irregular menses. Maybe this month you attend, the next month you skip. Some will be sporting, they can even sport for a good month. And then their hormones will be imbalanced, like they'll not have a good flow of menses. Maybe it can even take a year. Like, these are contraceptives, they differ from person to person. So you find that maybe this adolescent should just have normal menses, but the other one will be experiencing the same spotting, irregular menses. Maybe she's supposed to attend for 5 days, just goes for a month. I mean, she does for a day, or maybe she skips for some months. So this affects them a lot, because you find that even planning for their daily activities, maybe today I'm going out, I didn't know that I'll start my menses. I took a morning after. From nowhere I just start. Like, it's very easy for them to plan. So irregular menses, disturbances in hormones and spotting is one of the lesser side effects that these adolescents usually have when they misuse or abuse the emergency pills.
And talking about the long-term issues, what are the common that a young person has come to you to say, okay, this is what has happened to me? Do you have a real-life experience of a young person that has been abusing morning after, and then they've come to you to help them address their issue? And what issue was that, and how was it?
Okay, yeah, I had an encounter with one. Yes, heavy bleeding. She just started, seems to have regular menses, but after taking the morning after pill, she started having heavy menses, like heavy bleeding. You know, you tend to get worried, and then they were prolonged. For example, I'm supposed to do 5 days. I go to 6, 1 week, 2 weeks. So she had to bleed for a month. Like we said, these are hormones. So something triggered, the emergency pill triggered the hormones in the body, and hence this adolescent was having heavy menses. But at the end of the day, even when they come with those complaints, those heavy menses, that comes as a result of abusing the emergency pill. There are some drugs that the trained professions, the doctors, will take care of that. They will give them some medication that will reduce or maybe stop the menses. Because we know that when you're bleeding for a whole month, you're supposed to bleed for 5 days, you're bleeding for a whole month. There are some issues that come in, like anemia, which can be a risk this adolescent, and if not handled properly, it might even lead to death.
Okay,
yes.
So now my question is, thank you for that, by the way. My question is, what is the correct and proper way to use a morning after? And a follow-up to that is, how many times in a month are you supposed to use a morning after pill?
Okay, so the proper way to take this morning after, we've heard of stories whereby someone says, I took this pill, but I'm pregnant. So you're supposed to take it within 72 hours of having unprotected sex. So if it's after 72 hours, the effectiveness is not there. So even if I take day 4, I'm sure I took this pill, I might fall pregnant. So you need to take it correctly. And then there are other instances whereby I have unprotected sex today. I ovulated yesterday. Or if I ovulate today, I have unprotected sex today. And then I take a morning after, even tomorrow, okay, you know it's 72 hours. When the sperm and the ovum meet, fertilization will take place. Because what these morning after pills does, or the emergency pill, is to prevent ovulation and fertilization. So if I tend to ovulate today, I have unprotected sex up so, and then I delay, I'll take tomorrow, since it's within 72 hours. I'll fall pregnant even if I've taken that emergency pill correctly. So that's why this thing, I mean, no, I took this pill and I didn't wait. And then you're supposed to take it once in a month, because you said it prevents ovulation and fertilization. So you find that others, I'll have sex this month, maybe even 3-4 times. I'm just taking this emergency pill. The effectiveness is not going to be potent like the way it's supposed to be taken. Hence, I might fall pregnant because I'm not following the guidelines on how I should take this pill, even if I take it within 72 hours. But the frequency also matters, because it's called an emergency pill. It's not a regular contraceptive that one takes. That's what I can say on that one.
All right, thank you so much. So our viewers, please keep commenting, and if you have any questions for our guests, our panelists, please shoot the questions in our comment section, and they will be able to respond to your questions. This is the Real Talk Show, and the topic of today is the abuse of the morning after pill by adolescents and young people. the hidden dangers and the health risks associated with the abuse. So I'll move to you, Natasha, as project officer for the youth-led advocacy project, YLAP. What specific interventions is your project undertaking to prevent teen pregnancy, STI infections, and new HIV infections amongst AYP? I know we're talking about the morning after, but as the whole, as the project holistically, what interventions are being undertaken?
All right, thank you so much, George, for that question. So through the Youth-Led Advocacy Project, we are implementing multiple strategies focused on prevention, education, and access. So when I talk about those three areas, I'm looking at we're conducting life skills health education sessions in schools and in communities where we're working with Ministry of Health as well as trained community champions that are giving accurate information on family planning, the types of family planning, and HIV prevention, HIV testing, as well as the dangers that it comes with. And then we also are facilitating access to youth-friendly health services, including contraception, HIV testing, STI testing, and PrEP. So these are done through weekend clinics, where we're working also with Ministry of Health to provide the services, either in the communities or just there at the facilities. Then we're also making sure that in as much as we're trying to provide these services, we hold interface meetings with the facilities and the communities just to identify service delivery gaps, as well as how we can address them. So for instance, if the facility is lacking STI testing kits, we look at the average stockouts, like how long has this stockout been, has the facility been having this stockout, how long, and then if it's something that can be addressed within like the facility setup or the district setup, it can be done. So as we are creating demand, we know that the stockout also disrupt that. So by holding interface meetings, we are able to identify the gaps so that the services continue running. We are also doing campaigns, or the one that people know right now is the Youth Response Challenge that is running on our social media platforms, where we are also asking questions to the adolescents, as well as providing accurate information on the broader target, which is SRH as a whole. And then from that, one of the things that we're also doing is we're working in chiefdoms. We're calling them roundtable meetings. So we're meeting chiefs to identify the challenges that they're facing, especially around addressing and young people. So for instance, if a certain chiefdom is having a lot of teenage pregnancy and early marriages and stuff like that, so the project is also trying to make sure that villages or the rural areas, the young people have access to services, as well as access to accurate information.
All right, thank you. Sounds like a great project. I'm sure it will benefit a lot of adolescents and young people. You spoke of information just now as you were concluding. With regard to the abuse of the morning after pill, what strategies or what information is available for the young people?
Okay, So the information that is available for the young people, as you have seen, we have Monida here, who's giving us the expert view on what the effects of morning after, as well as the other long-term contraceptives that can be used by adolescents and young people. So that is one of the information that we're having, as well as the campaign itself. It's giving out information on the dangers, on other family planning methods that a young person can use, as well as where to access those services. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Natasha, for that one. I would like to get back to you, Rebecca, if you're still with us. You spoke about how you abuse the morning after, and Natasha is talking about information and where to access information. My question to you is, do you feel you have enough information about other ways to prevent teen pregnancies? If not, what kind of information would be helpful to you today? Are you there, Rebecca? I think this question can also, did you get my question?
No, I think that's your question.
Okay, so my question is, Natasha is talking about information, right? So my question to you is, do you feel you have enough information about other ways to prevent teen pregnancies? If not, what kind of information would be helpful to you right now?
I'd say no, because I've heard of other methods from social media, and I feel as though the information that I hear from there is not enough for me, because we will hear people say this and that, so the information from there is not really enough.
Okay,
so that's the reason why I would like it, or it would really be more to my advantage if a healthy practitioner or maybe a young adult would talk to me about the pros and the cons of contraceptive methods and how safe it is for me to use as an adolescent young girl.
I tell you what, it's a lucky day, you're on the right platform. So you get all the information right here, okay? So my other question to you is, what support, if any, do you think would make or help you make different choices about contraception? What support do you want? Do you need support from parents, support from the community, support from your partner, or support from the youth platform? Okay, I think we lost her. So 𝗙𝗲, I'll probably ask you the same question about information, okay? Do you feel you have enough information about other ways of preventing teen pregnancies rather than abusing the morning after with your partner? 𝗙𝗲, are you there? So you're muted, 𝗙𝗲. You're muted, 𝗙𝗲.
Sorry. So personally, I feel that you should provide more information, because you find that most of the people who are using morning after, let's say morning after has failed to work due to the circumstance the victim has found themselves in. What other alternatives can you help us with unplanned pregnancies?
So would you consider using condoms or discussing family planning with your partner in the future? Or is that on the table? Are you free to discuss with your partner about condoms, the use of condoms, and other family planning pills other than the morning after?
I feel
And
like
how would that conversation be?
I feel like having a conversation with my partner, because it will help us both maintain a healthy relationship. Because at the end of the day, if we're not talking about condoms and contraceptives that can protect her and myself, I think we are both going to kill each other. The best way is having a conversation with my partner. Then at the end of the day, putting this conversation with other peers of my own.
So, Monida, having heard stories from or views from Rebecca as well as Chavo, what advice from a clinical perspective would you give to these two young people and many others that are in their shoes today?
Okay, thank you so much, George, for that question. So like Rebecca was saying, it's like a lot of adolescents and youths out there don't have adequate information on the emergency pill. It's not the only thing that we talk about when they come to seek family planning services. I mean, yeah, contraceptive methods that we have at the facility. We have got a variety of them. Many of them, like we know, emergency pills are used mostly if they are under pressure. Like they don't really plan. Like they don't really plan for safe sex methods. Because if they are sexually active, they're supposed to sit with their partner. They discuss about the safer sex methods that they can use or how they can take care of themselves to prevent, of course, not just only pregnancy. We're talking about STIs. So many at times these adolescents just go in with the emergency pill, like as now it's readily available even in pharmacies. Someone will just go, this teenager will just go and buy, like it's easily accessible without looking at the other effects that come with it, like the STIs. Because when you use the emergency pill, you're just preventing pregnancy. And we know these contraceptives, they're not 100%, like we discussed some other issues that might prevent or not make this emergency pill work to its potency, like someone using it 4 times in a month. So when they come to the facility, like Rebecca said, we educate them. There are trained personnel who've undergone this training on family planning. They'll give them adequate information about the different family planning methods that they can use to prevent pregnancy and STIs. We talk of condoms. We also bring in the issue of dual protection. Where someone can use the emergency pill and also use a condom to prevent pregnancy and STIs. So Rebecca and other peers out there who don't have adequate information on these emergency pills or other family planning methods, please visit any nearby facility where you find your trained peer educators who have been trained in family planning services. They'll give you the adequate information that you need so that you can make an informed decision and you don't find yourself in a situation whereby you've endangered your life and your health.
All right, thank you so much, Monida, for that question. And Rebecca, welcome back. So my next question is to you, our viewers. Please type your response in the comment section. What role do you think the community, including parents, educators, play in addressing this issue? What role do you think the community, including parents as educators, play in addressing this issue? If you just joined us, welcome to the show. The abuse of the morning after pill by adolescent and young people. We're talking about the hidden dangers and the health risks associated with this. That is the topic for today. Please keep sending in your questions and your comments as well as your contributions on today's topic. So I'd like to get to you, Natasha, just to find out. I'm sure when you're in the field, Natasha, of your head, as a big sister, when you hear such stories, what is your response when you hear such stories about young people not using condoms, but just sticking to the morning after as the quickest way to, or as a contraception?
As a big sister.
As a big sister.
As a big sister, I'm saddened because many young people do not really understand the long-term effects of a drug. Like if you continue abusing a drug, eventually something wrong or something bad will happen. So I feel like each time, I know that there are desperate times when an adolescent needs the money after, which is okay. But then for somebody that is like continuously doing it, I feel it's a bad choice. So if you know that you're sexually active, and I always say this, like if you know you're sexually active, go to the health facility or write us a message, send us a message asking, if you don't have the information, you ask us first to say, there is this thing that I'm going through. What do you think? We do provide information, as well as we can even guide you on which facilities, if you're not comfortable with the facility that you like, that is in your like closer to home, you can either go to a different facility where you can access the service, as well as like the project itself is trying to address or reduce stigma that is associated with young people accessing services. So by then doing that, I pray and hope that a lot of young people could just wake up one time or one day and just decide, if you want to get a loop that is not associated with like hormones and like, so just find a contraceptive method that you feel is working well for you. If it's injectable, you can do injectable. I feel like by deciding which long term to use is best and better than always using money after pay.
So, two quick questions. If you were to advise a young person today, if a young person came to you today and said, what would you advise me? What contraception would you advise me to take? What would be your pick? That's number one. Number two, you interacting with a lot of young people in the field, means you've come across different stories, different questions. Do you have any personal experience from a real life scenario where somebody came to you with an issue and you were able to change their mindset? If there's nothing, that's fine, but just in case you do, I'd like to hear that.
All right, okay. Since I'm a big sister and I'm keeping secrets, I don't think I want to tell. But then when it comes to advice, I feel like I can't really advise an adolescent on which contraceptive to use, because our bodies are different. What can work for me cannot work for Rebecca. What can work for Rebecca cannot work for Manida. So I feel like just giving information on the available contraceptives, and then giving them the decision to choose which contraceptive they feel can work best. So you can start with the short term, if like you can advise that they start with the short term, because if for a long term, it's very hard for like side effects to be what's the word, Monid?
Reversed.
Yeah, to be reversed. Yeah. So it's better that like you just give them the information, but then if they choose to go for the long term, not knowing if the long term will work for them, it's their choice. So I'll just give them the advice on what contraceptives are available, where they can access, give them the information, and give them the opportunity to choose the correct contraceptive best for them.
Thank you so much, Natasha. Remember, you're on the Real Talk Show. We posed a question earlier for our audience. Please keep sending in those messages. I mean, type them in the comment section. We'll be able to respond to that. The question is easy and simple. What role do you think the community, including parents, educators, play in addressing this issue? Our topic today, once more, is the abuse of the morning after and the hidden dangers and health risks. Our guests, Monida, Natasha, as well as Chavo, not forgetting Rebecca. So Rebecca, we did pose a question before you dropped off. Maybe a quick one before we do our last thoughts on this topic as we wrap up. My question to you is, what support, if any, do you think would help you make different choices about your choice of contraception? What support would you need?
I think the support that I would need is a free and safe environment where I will not be discriminated when I come to access these services. And then the other thing is where I'll be free myself to speak about the contraceptive and where I'm able to learn about the information. And the other support that I'll need is an adult. As I said earlier, an adult or a healthy profession who not take the information out there, because I, as a young person, taking this morning after pill, I always have a thought to say, okay, if I go to a healthy facility and I find these adults, how are they going to see me? Because in this healthy facility, you find adults that will discriminate you, that will stigmatize you because you've gone there to get a contraceptive pill and the like. So the only support that I want is a free and safe environment without discrimination or stigmatization. Contraceptive pills, when you look at their age and how they're looking, they're not supposed to get that. So a free and safe environment where I'm free from stigma and discrimination of wanting to access these drugs. Yes. And the other thing is having easy access to the drugs, where I'll come and have the drug immediately I need it. Yes.
So this is my last question to you and Chavo. So Chavo, pay attention because this question also is for you. From our interaction today on the Real Talk Show, what are you going to go home with that you'll be able to tell your friends, your classmates, your peers out there to say, I went in with this perspective, this is what I know now? What information will you be able to relate to your colleagues?
I think I'll tell them about the dangers of taking this morning after. From what I've learned from Monida, is that they have got very long-term side effects of which they can affect my body and how my hormones balance in. So I, as a young person going out there, I'm going to tell my friends about how they're supposed to take this pill and some of the methods which I've learned here that they're supposed to take beside the morning after pill.
All right, thank you. Chavo, same question.
Thank you very much. My takeaway is that when I reach home, the information that I'm going to share is that as much as we are going to rely on the contraceptive, we should also use condoms, because we are not only going to prevent unwanted pregnancy, but also getting other STIs.
Okay, thank you so much. So I move on to you, Monida. what advice do you typically give the young people who come to the clinic seeking information about emergency contraception?
Okay, thank you so much, Joe. So the advice that I would give the young ones is that an emergency pill should not be used as a daily contraceptive. It's called emergency. You take it when there's an emergency. I don't know what you call an emergency, but whereby maybe you have unprotected sex, mabunka na muntu, that's an emergency. But if you know that you're sexually active, if you know that Chavo, you're laughing.
No. No, we need to define the word emergency.
Yeah,
so, every day is an emergency. Please go ahead. Sorry.
So an emergency should not be every day. So if you know that you're sexually active, we are not discriminating, we are not going to stigmatize you. Pass through the facility. We give you the different types of family planning methods that we have, so that you can choose. Just like Natasha has said, we've got short-term family planning and long-term family planning. So we'll give you the information. The decision is for you to make, because our role is to give you adequate information so that you make an informed decision for yourself. As an emergency pill, you don't use it every day. Today I have sex, I drink an emergency pill, unprotected sex. Tomorrow, the whole week, I'm having unprotected sex, and then I'm drinking this emergency pill. No wonder we are having these issues of one saying, I may banana bisa Piriton. No, it's not Piriton, it's the pill that is not working. You're abusing it. Just like antibiotics, if you continue abusing the drug, you find that it's not going to work the way it's supposed to work in the body. So even these emergency pills, there's a period in which they work. Like the example that I gave, I'm ovulating today, I've unprotected sex. Even when I take some hours or maybe a day, since I know that I'm supposed to take this within 72 hours, many people have fallen pregnant. They'll say, but I took it after just 2 hours, I took the pill. I've already ovulated and the sperm has gone. Boom, babunkana, ovulation has fertilization has taken place. So please, youths out there, if you know that you're sexually active, come to the facility. We give you a variety of family planning methods that you can use, and then you choose from there so that you can prevent pregnancy and STIs in future, so that you have good planning. Since you know you're an adolescent, you're a youth, you've got a future ahead of you, a bright future ahead of you. And you know unwanted pregnancies will hinder you to progress, because you have to take care of this baby and everything. So if you know you're sexually active, pass with the facility. And then for those who are yet who are contemplating on whether to start to engage into sexual activities or abstain, you can still come to the facility to also bring in the issue of abstinence, because we know abstinence is the best. So we also we are not going to neglect those adolescents who are contemplating on having sex. Some it's because of peer pressure. So when they pass through the facility, when we give them information even about abstinence, many of them even say, okay, for now I'll abstain so that I can plan for safer sex in future and prevent unwanted pregnancies and STIs.
I know I keep saying last question. My last question to you, Manida, is: are these services free? And for example, the facility where you operate from, what time are the services available for young people?
Okay, so the services are free of charge. Like we discussed earlier, services at the facility hospital, no one should tell you to buy a pill or to deliver a service. And nowadays, most of the facilities are 24 hours. We give 24 hours service. So if you come at 01 and you've indulged yourself maybe in unprotected sex, who attends to you, because there are health workers who work 24 hours. So don't say, I will go tomorrow because maybe clinic Lavala. No, we operate 24 hours and no one should charge you. The services are free of charge. Yes.
All right, thank you so much. I would like to thank you guys for making time to be part of this interesting topic. I think it's a conversation that needed to be had. I'll see if we can always have a part 2 of this one, because the abuse of the morning after ish, I tell you, everyone, like you said, it looks like there are a lot of emergencies in this country. I think it's also high time we talked about the dangers and the risks associated with this. So I don't know if any of you would like to probably have any 1 or 2 words that they would like to say before we wrap, completely say goodbye. Natasha, oh, Victoria. All right, I thought you were saying something. Okay, so our viewers, once more, the question still remains. What role do you think the community, including parents and educators, play in addressing this issue? Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of our show. It's been lovely having you. Thank you so much for all your comments and engagement. Remember, this episode was brought to you with the compliments of the youth-led advocacy project, the Youth Response Challenge, supported by ActionAid Zambia, and the generous support of the Swedish International Development Cooperation Agency, SIDA. We also want to acknowledge the fantastic team, Pinch Africa, for the wonderful production. Until next week, another Friday, have a lovely day, and God bless. Thank you so much.